Hi, I'm Benjamin Franklin. Let me tell you about my most important experiment. I was born in 1706 and was the 15th child in my family. My dad was a soap and candle maker because back then we didn't have lights. Even though I ended up being super smart, I only went to school for 1 year. Then I went to apprentice my brother James at his newspaper, the New England Courant. It was the only local newspaper at the time. I really wanted to write pieces for the newspaper, but my mean older brother said no, so I wrote under a pen name, Mrs. Silence Dogood. When he found out, he was furious and hated me from then on, so I left. I went to Philadelphia, where I lived for the majority of my life. For a little bit, I had to live in England since running away wasn't considered acceptable. There I worked as a printer's helper for a couple years before moving back. There I was free to explore and invent whatever I wanted. Not to brag, but I was pretty successful in my life. Not only did I create volunteer fire stations, but I also created the first library, had my own printing shop, and married my sweetheart, Deborah. After I retired from printing, I focused on science and inventing. One of my friends had given me a glass electricity tube, and I was hooked. For about a decade, I did multiple experiments involving lightning and electricity, but my most famous one was with the kite. One June afternoon, I went out. One June afternoon, I went outside with the kite at the end of string. At the end, I tied a key made of iron. From the key to the Leyden jar, there was a thin metal wire. This type of jar was made to hold strong electrical charges. Since I was so smart, I held onto the key from inside the safety of my barn. Once I received a shock and was super lucky I didn't die. Yes, it was somewhat dangerous and stupid, but I single-handedly changed the course of history. After that, I went on to hold many jobs, including postmaster, writer, politician, soldier, and bookstore owner. I also was a very important U.S. ambassador and drafted the Declaration of Independence. While I was as a U.S. ambassador, I spent most of my time in France, and the women loved me, not to brag. Sadly, I died in 1790 because I was super old, at the age of 84. Looking back on all of my inventions and accomplishments, I would say that my discovery of electricity was the most important. Without electricity, you kids wouldn't have cars, lights, television, computers, video games, or your fancy phones. Not only would your entertainment be drastically different, but you also wouldn't have common items like refrigerators, ovens, microwaves, stoves, or air conditioning. Without electricity, there would be no digital age, social media, navigation, airplanes, credit cards, or other modern conveniences. No matter who you are or where you live, your life would be drastically different without my experiment.